start doing a bridal look today on my lovely model Jenny, and we're going to start with Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. And this has an SPF 15, but it's just going to help the makeup last a little bit longer throughout the day, and it has quite a smoothing finish as well on the skin. So I'm just going to use fingers, just take that, just to give us a really nice clean base to start with. I'm going to use Dior Nude on Jenny's skin, and this has an SPF 15, which is good, but it's not such a high SPF that it's going to bounce too much light if there's any flash photography. And we're just going to buff this into the skin. And I'm just taking a Real Techniques buffing brush. If you're having your hair up, make sure you include your ears a little bit if there's any redness in your ears, and your décolletage as well. So just buffing that into the skin. Just concentrate on the centre of the face and work outwards. Again, watch your jawline. So I'm taking this down Jenny's neck as well. I'm just going to give Jenny's eyebrows a groom up so I can see what shape we've got. Jenny's got really good brows, so we're just going to work with her natural shape. And I'm just going to, before I start putting an eye base on, just give a little bit more to her brow. I'm going to use Suq Eyebrow Felt Tip Pen in number 2. And this is really good because it's waterproof, so it's going to be really long lasting for your wedding day. So just turn this way for me, Jenny. I'm just adding in feathery strokes just to the brow. So it still looks like Jenny's brow, but just a little bit more defined. And you can make kind of perfect individual strokes with this, and it looks really natural, like you're actually drawing on individual hairs. And just elongate the eye a little bit. Make sure your arch is really nice. And on the inner corner as well. And as you're going along, just use your brow brush or just a disposable mascara wand just to keep an eye on how the shape's looking. You can blend it through as you go. I'm then going to take a little bit of eye base on Jenny's eye. This is going to also help the eyeshadow stay a lot longer throughout the day. This is Soft Ochre by MAC, and it's just a paint pot, so this is going to help the eyeshadow stay on a lot longer as well. Just take out any redness left on the eye. Just close for me. So I'm just going to start painting that on. And I'm using a 217 matte brush. I'm just going to buff that in as I go along. So this is just going to get rid of any redness around the eye. The eyeshadow palette I'm using is Lifting Ivory by Dior, and this is a really nice set of colours. It's kind of greyish, but sort of champagne golds, and just really flattering on the eye. So taking this colour here, I'm going to take this into Jenny's socket and just start buffing that through a little bit. Smudging that in to the socket line and take it a little bit onto the outer third of the lid as well. And then with your cleaner brush as well, you want to take a little bit of the white and the pale pink and just mix those two together a little bit. And then just dab, close me Jenny, onto the inner corner, just so you get a little bit of a highlight to open the eyes up a little bit. And just take that a little bit through the centre of the lid, very, very lightly, so it's not too crazy shimmery. Then taking a small Art Shop eyeliner brush, so something like that, I'm just going to use a little bit of Bobbi Brown in Sepia ink. And so I'm just pulling Jenny's lid up a little bit at the top, which will just make the lid a bit tighter, and just tracing it along. If you just lean the brush into the lashes and the roots, we're just kind of pushing that through. So don't worry about being too perfect, because we're still going to soften this anyway. If you've got too much, take off a little bit on the back of your hand, and then flick it out a little bit, like very, very subtly, just lifts the eye. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the upper waterline, just so that the lashes look really dark and thick. So using the same liner, look right down at the floor for me. So if you just look down at the floor in the opposite way, you're just going to paint that into the inner waterline. And these gel liners stay put really well. So taking a pair of Schuh Mirror eyelash curlers, I'm just going to curl Jenny's eyelash. So look right down the floor for me, Jenny. So just again, lift the eye, make sure you're looking right down at the floor, do a few squeezes and just turn it up a little bit towards the end. Okay, get a nice curled lash. And we're going to put a little bit of waterproof mascara on. I really like Sumptuous Waterproof by Estee Lauder, is a really nice one. So we're going to put this on the top and bottom. Up for me, Jenny. So I'm just going to start putting a bit on the top, on the bottom first. And I do like a little bit on the bottoms of the lash. I think again it just frames the eyes a bit more. Right down for me. And just wiggle it through to the roots. If you have very straight lashes, curl them twice. So before I add some individual lashes, I'm just going to take a bit of the Sleek palette I mentioned earlier, which is this one. And I'm just going to use a bit of the kind of matte dark brown, just to add a little bit to soften out the bottom of the lash line. So I'm just going to using a small domed NARS brush. So can you, Jenny, and close? I'm just going to run that a little bit over the liner we've made. I've got my two MAC 217 brushes. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that brown into the outside corner as well, just into where the crease is as well. Just buff that in all really nicely and clean. Just make sure the shape's pulled out a little bit. Right, so I'm going to add a few individual lashes now. And the lashes I'm using on Jenny, I'm using a mixture. I'm using some of the Liz Martins in medium, which have different thicknesses, which are really good. And then I'm also using Bridal's, and both of these individual lashes are knot free, which looks really good for wedding day because they look a lot more natural. So I'm going to start with the larger ones, Duo adhesive glue. This is my favourite glue for eyelashes because it's waterproof as well. So just put it on the back of your hand and just leave that to dry for a little while before you apply your lashes. Probably 30 seconds or so just to make it go tacky. Holding the eyelash in your tweezer, just dab a little bit onto the end of the glue. Okay, so I'm just going to place this on the outer third of Jenny's lash. I'm just going to turn right round, place and look down from Jenny. So just literally place it onto the lash and just kind of push it into place. So look down. And I'm just going to pop that. Again, the glue will dry clear as well. And then I'm going to use a short one just for the middle of the eye towards the inner. So just taking the Ardell short ones. So taking your waterproof mascara again, we're just going to blend those through together, just so they look like Jenny's real lashes. So look down for me, Jenny. So just blend those through. If you have lighter eyelashes, a good trick to do is just to take a fan brush and just coat it in a bit of mascara. And then if you just turn to me, Jenny, and look down, you can just paint the tops just to make sure none of the blonde is showing up. Not many people naturally have dark black lashes, so. Concealer I've been using that I really like is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I just find this gets rid of redness really well, and this concealer covers spots really well also. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this from the applicator, and then just using a bit of a dome brush. So I'm just using a NARS number 13. I'm just going to take this, turn to me, Jenny. I'm just going to use this under the eyes and a little bit around the nose. And I'm also going to do a little bit of that on the other side as well. So just turn that with me, Jenny, and look up. So I'm just going to take this under the eye also, a little bit around the nose, and I'm just going to buff that into Jenny's skin. And I'm going to use my foundation brush as well just to buff that into the skin. And then for any pinpoint concealing, you just want to take something like a concealer brush with a bit more of a point on it, and the one you were using originally, and just put some on the back of your hand, and then just take a tiny bit and you're just going to blend it out for any areas where you might want to just pinpoint conceal. And just pop it on and then just dab over so you don't remove the pigment completely. And you're just dabbing that over. So now for Jenny's skin, I'm going to use a little bit of light reflective pen under the eyes. I'm going to use a bit of Neutral Fair number 4 by Clinique Airbrush Concealer. So just to highlight, just look up for me, Jenny. I'm just going to put a little bit. And I'm going to use this to kind of sculpt almost as well under the eye. So you can see if Jenny turns here, it looks quite dramatic, but when we blend that in, you get a really nice highlight. So I'm just going to use this here. And turn that over to Jenny. Just under the eye to lift under the eye. Blusher wise, I found these really good products I've been using lots at the moment by Rimmel, and they are cheek tints and they're called Stay Blush and they're really long wearing, so these are really good for weddings. And the two colours I've been liking a lot at the minute is Pop of Pink and Sun-Kissed Cherry. So I'm going to use a bit of Sun-Kissed Cherry as it's a little bit more corally, which I think will look really pretty on Jenny's complexion, especially with her blue eyes. I'm just using my fingers, and it's a really pretty colour. So if you just smile for me, Jenny. So just get your bride to smile, or if you're doing it on yourself, just smile. And this will really stay put really well for your big day. Just mostly on the apples, and then just blend it out with your brush. And if you feel you put too much on, you just take your foundation brush you used first, and just blend it through so you've got no edges at all. So just take that down the apples of the cheeks. I'm just going to start lining Jenny's lips, so I'm just going to use a bit of Pale Pink by Bobbi Brown. So I'm just going to line the lips. So I'm just taking this And on Cupid's bow, ever so slightly over, just ever so slightly. Just to get a nice flush coming through. And just open for me, Jenny. Just open so you can go right into the inner corner. And this just acts like a nice stain on the lips as well, so again, if you put it all over your lip, it doesn't matter if it fades, you're still going to have some colour underneath your lip. And on Jenny's lips, I'm going to use a Whole Lot of Honey by Clinique, which is a chubby stick, and these are really good because you don't need a pencil sharpener. You can just wind them up, and this will be good to keep in your handbag for the wedding day, easy for touch-ups, and you can even do it really without looking in the mirror. So just straight from the bullet, I'm just going to use a little bit of that over Jenny's lips. Turn up a bit for me, Jenny. And this gives quite a nice kind of English rose sort of lip. And then a finishing touch I would use, because it's your special day, is just using a tiny bit of lip gloss, something by, this is 400 by Guerlain, which is a really nice kind of goldy shimmer just on the top end of your lips, which is just going to make your lips look a little bit bigger. So I would literally just do a dot just here. So you just tend to roughly. So just a little bit through the top and a dot on the bottom, which you're just going to blend with your finger. This is Matte Translucent Powder by Laura Mercier, which looks white but actually comes out see-through, so it's a real fail-safe to use for your wedding day. And I'm just going to use a Japanese artist brush, and I'm just going to run a little bit of that around the nose, more through the centre of the face really. I'm going to take a bit of Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Pearl, and I'm just going to use that along Jenny's cheekbones, just to give a really nice sheen to the skin. So I'm just taking a bit of this with a Japanese brush, and I'm just going to just dab it on the cheekbones, and a little bit up into the temples. Okay, so I'm just blending that up into the temple a little bit. Just look up for me, Jenny. And then just with your finger, just press that in to blend the edges, just over the cheek. And a tiny bit just over your lip line. So there we have it, a bridal look you can do, which will work with whatever colour your dress is. It's a really nice classic makeup, really easy to do. And it's something that will always look classic and timeless. This look can be adapted as well with all different colour tones, so if you want to do golds or you want to do pinks, you can do the same, but just with the same shapes I've used, the same kind of blending and tones, but just change the colours to colours that suit you if that works better for you.